Hello everyone, welcome back to this YouTube channel Globexa Immigration. This is the live session related to spouse upon work permit changes. So if you are ready to apply for spouse upon work permit or spouse upon work permit extension, then in this live session we are going to break down all kind of questions, all kind of issues, all kind of scenarios, and we are going to discuss all those things in this particular live session. If you have any questions, you can leave your questions in the chat box and I'm going to take all the questions, whatever questions are there in your mind. So you can leave your questions in the chat. If you want to apply with me, then in that case you can ping me on WhatsApp on my number. So you can ping, my number is given in the description as well. It is there on the screen. So you can leave your questions there as well if you want to apply. So you can leave your profile there as well. You can call me, or if you have small questions, then you can leave your questions in chat. Okay, so we are starting with the apply for spouses before 21st January. So why before 21st January? Because the reason is quite simple. There are changes coming, big changes coming on and after January 21, 2025 related to spouse upon work permit. Spouses means there can be two type of applications. One is spouse upon work permit from outside Canada or SOWP extensions. So I had many yesterday only I posted this video after getting this update, and I had many comments. I answered many comments as well, and I wanted to clear all the doubts in this live session. Still, even during the session or after the session, if you still have any doubts, I am going to continue answering your questions in this session. So we are going to stay here for 1 hour at least to clear all of your doubts if there are any doubts. Okay, so what's the update? So this is the update. Yesterday we got it, January 14, 2025. It was the date of the update. So there are changes announced for spouse upon work permit. And first of all, this is not for PG work permit. These changes are not for PG work permit. These changes are for spouses. Spouses who are outside Canada or inside Canada. In that case, these changes are going to be implemented for the spouses, not for PG work permit applicants. So if you are single, then in that case, these changes are not for you. These changes are for the applicants who are married, already inside Canada, or applying for the study permit, or already have a study permit, already inside Canada. Spouse is outside, spouse is inside. So this is for the married people. This is not for the single people. So if you are single, in that case, you are not going to be impacted from these new rules. It is not for you. No need to worry about it. If you are going to get married, then you can just follow this particular session or the update. Otherwise, these updates are not for you. No need to worry about it. Okay, so what's the update? There is a major update related to the job requirement. So it is going to be effective from January 21, 2025. So that's what the title of the video was. It was, you should apply for the spouses, whether it is spouse upon work permit or the extension. For those type of applications, you should apply right now before January 21, 2025. What's the reason for that? The reason is the requirement to get spouse upon work permit or spouse upon work permit extension. And as of the current scenario, rules are quite easier to get it, not so easy, but yes, easier compared to the new update. That is what we are discussing in this particular session. I am sharing the updates. So there are different kind of scenarios. We are discussing all the scenarios. First scenario is, you want to apply for spouse upon work permit extension based on the study. You are doing any kind of study in Canada and spouse is also in Canada. So this scenario says you are doing any kind of study, whether it is a master's, a bachelor's, a PG diploma, UG diploma, any kind of study you are doing in Canada, PhD or whatever it is. So you are already inside Canada, you are doing your study and you have your study permit with you, and spouse is also inside Canada. Extension means Extension happens whenever your spouse is already in Canada. If your spouse is not in Canada, In that case, spouse open work permit extension cannot happen. So it means spouse is already inside Canada. If the spouse is already inside Canada and you are doing any kind of study, you are on study permit, you got the study permit extension, spouse is already inside Canada, and you want to apply for spouse open work permit extension. In that case, you are allowed as per the current rule. So as long as you are going to keep your study permit, you can extend spouse open work permit as well. There is no problem in that. This new rule is not going to be applied for SOWP extensions for study. If you are on study permit as the primary applicant and you are applying for spouse open work permit extension, so this rule is not going to be implemented for the extensions if you are on study permit. So that is, I guess, clear. If there is any question related to that, then you can leave your question in the comment. I'll try to answer that. Okay, so Rivaz has one question, but Rivaz, I am going to cover all the scenarios. So I hope I am going to answer all of your questions in all those scenarios. If still there are any questions or doubts left, I am going to answer those doubts as well. But during this entire session, I guess all the doubts will be cleared. All kind of scenarios will be cleared. So first scenario is you want to apply for spouse open work permit extension and primary applicant. You as a primary applicant, you are on study permit, any kind of study. You don't require to be having a master's, you don't require to be having a bachelor's. It is not a criteria. Any kind of degree you are doing, any kind of diploma you are doing, and you are on study permit in Canada for any kind of study, and you want to do the extension of SOWP, you are allowed to do it. It's not a problem. These new rules are not going to impact you. So you are already inside Canada, student and spouse both are inside Canada. So this is Canada. If student and spouse both are inside Canada, in that case these rules are not going to impact you. You can apply for the extension. There is no problem in that. So this is the first scenario. I guess it should be sorted for you. And these new rules are not going to be applied on you, not going to impact you. No need to worry about it. Okay, spouse open work permit based on study. So this is a normal spouse open work permit from outside Canada. What kind of scenario is this? This is your Canada and student is in Canada but spouse is outside Canada. So if you want to go inside Canada, spouse is outside, you want to apply a fresh application of spouse open work permit. It is not an extension. It is a normal fresh spouse open work permit application. I am writing fresh here. Fresh means you are outside, you are not inside. So fresh spouse open work permit application. In that case, the rule says you require now, as per the new rule, you require 2 years of master's degree to apply for spouse open work permit. So that is as per the current, as per the new rule. In the current rule, till January 21st, 2025, for next 5 days, you can apply with 1 year master's as well. This 2 years of master requirement is recently added in the new rule. It is not in the existing rule. So you can right now as well, if in next 4-5 days, you can apply for spouse open work permit. If you are doing a master's degree, it can be 1 year master's or 2 year master's. But from January 21, 2025, you will require 2 years of master's degree. You will require 2 years of master's degree to get spouse open work permit from outside Canada. So if you are applying for Canada now, from here onwards, if you are going to reach Canada for April intake, May intake, September intake, you must take 2 years of master degree to get spouse open work permit. And ideally, you should apply for the entire family together. Most consultants do not recommend that, but I always recommend you to apply for spouse open work permit along with study permit. If you have small kid, even if you don't have a kid, if you have 2 kids, 3 kids, 5 kids, arrange your funds and apply for the entire family together. I have made multiple videos on that. Consultants do not recommend that, but I always recommend and say this to everyone. If you are married, apply for the entire family together. Earlier, I wasn't pushing people to do it, but right now in current scenario where rules are changing really frequently related to spouse upon work permit, it is highly recommended that you apply for the entire family together. Even if there is a bit of risk of refusal, it is added because one more application is added in study visa application, but we got visas for very difficult profiles where a student had a ban from UK and we got Canada study visa with family. We got Canada study visa with family for 6 family members. So we have done different kind of amazing cases. It is quite possible, and refusal can happen for a single applicant as well. So if you are applying alone, it is also not risk free. Refusal can happen with when you are applying alone for study visa. So it's highly recommended, arrange all the funds and apply for Canada study visa with spouse. Apply for the entire family together. Highly recommended, and I have made videos for that. So funds is the most important part in that. If you have enough financial capacity, what is the financial capacity? If you want to apply Canada study visa with spouse, alone if you are applying, you require 21,000 living expenses, which we submit as GIC in Canada. So alone you require 21,000. If you are married, for spouse you require 5,000 more. So you require $26,000 overall, including GIC. And then if you have one kid, $32,000. If you have 2 kids, $39,000. So $21,000 minimum you require for the student. Then per applicant add $6,000 in your financial capacity, and you can apply for the entire family together. That is what I recommend all the time. So even though you are asking 10 consultants and they are saying do not apply together, you are going to get refusal, you can get refusal even if you are applying alone. And what if you get visa later on, there are changes in the rule and your spouse is unable to travel to Canada? It is going to become a really difficult situation for you, where one has got visa and maybe traveling to Canada, and the spouse and the kids are already in the home country. It is not a pleasant scenario where you need to leave your family behind, and it becomes really messy situation where you are having something in hand, you want to go to Canada, now it is like your dream is getting true, but you can't leave your family behind, you have kids as well. So it can become really difficult situation for you. So highly recommended that you apply for the entire family together. To do so, you require to take a 2 years of master degree or a PhD degree, or some pilot programs are eligible. You can ignore that. Otherwise, you can go for Bachelor of Law. So that is one type of program, or the popular program can be Bachelor of Nursing or Bachelor of Education. In Bachelor of Education, University of Regina is there, many other options are there, Laurentian University is there. With Bachelor of Education, any kind of background can go for a bachelor degree, and with this bachelor degree, you can get spouse upon work permit as well. Then Bachelor of Engineering, I guess more than 100 options are there for Bachelor of Engineering program where you can apply for spouse. So most popular is go for a master's degree after a bachelor's degree, go for a master's degree of 2 years. There are so many options for that. IBU is there, Trinity Western University is there, University of Niagara Falls is there, then Providence is there, Crandall is there, Laurentian University is there, University of New Brunswick is there, University of so many universities. So many options are there where you can go. Just take 2 years of masters and apply for the entire family together. That is what I wanted to share. So one change has happened in the new rule starting from January 21. The change is, earlier you were able to apply for spouse upon work permit with 1 year masters as well. Now you need to take a 2 year masters to get your spouse upon work permit. This is one change which has happened for spouse upon work permit applications, normal spouse upon work permit applications from outside Canada. And 2 year masters means 16 months of masters, including co-op. If there is co-op, then co-op is also included in the period of masters. So 16 months of masters minimum is required to get your 3 year of PG work permit and spouse upon work permit as well. So first scenario we have discussed. Spouse upon work permit extension. It means spouse is already inside Canada. Second scenario we have discussed, spouse upon work permit when the spouse is outside Canada. Then this is going to be implemented when student or the primary applicant is studying in Canada. So these two scenarios we have discussed till now. Let's go towards the third scenario. Third scenario is spouse upon work permit or spouse upon work permit extension based on the work of primary applicant. Work of primary applicant. What is the work of primary applicant? How the primary applicant gets work permit? So there are two systems for that. First system is LMIA, that is a closed work permit. Second is PG work permit. So these two situations are there where spouses get work permit. So in any scenario where the primary applicant is on work permit, whether through LMIA or through PG work permit, in both these scenarios, new rules and old rules, two type of rules are there. Now these type of rules are there, and these are the upcoming rules from January 21. So in next 6 days, these new rules are going to be implemented. For the current scenario, in the current system, these rules are there. So we can take our spouse upon work permit right now with the current situation for next 5 days. Before January 21, 2025, this next 5 days, 6 days, we can use the current rules to get spouse upon work permit or spouse upon work permit extension. What is the current rule? Why you should apply right now? What is the current rule? Current rule is you can be on tier 0, 1, 2, 3 full-time job as a primary applicant, and still you will be eligible to spouse upon work permit or spouse upon work permit extension. Or you can be on tier 4 or 5, the lowest level of job as well, full-time job as per the rule. But usually we have seen on paper this works, but in many cases we have seen refusals even if you are working on tier 4 or 5. So it is recommended that you should be on tier 0, 1, 2, 3 level. It is highly recommended to get your SOWP or SOWP extension approval. If you are on these kind of levels, that is again better for you. It is recommended, but by rule, even if you are working full time on tier 4 or 5 level as well, it means any kind of full time job you are doing, in that case you are eligible to get SOWP and SOWP extension. But it is recommended, even in the current scenario, it is recommended that you should be on tier level 0, 1, 2, 3. It is recommended. It is for the primary applicant. It is for the primary applicant, not for spouse. There is no rule for spouse. Spouse can be doing any kind of job or not doing job as well. On paper it is not a problem. So there is no mention for the spouse. Spouse may have job, may not have job, and still spouse can get spouse upon work permit or spouse upon work permit extension. It is not a problem. But if in many scenarios we have seen that even if primary applicant was working on these levels of job, but spouse didn't have the job, but spouse got refusal in that scenario. So on paper it is fine, but in execution, in real, as per the norms which are followed by IRCC, ideally primary applicant and secondary applicant both should be on tier 0, 1, 2, 3 level. It is highly recommended, even as per current rule as well. So on paper it is little bit different. There are exceptions as well, but we have seen many people getting refusals if the primary applicant was working on tier 4 or 5 level and secondary applicant was not working full time in Canada. So we have seen all kind of scenarios. We have submitted many applications. We have seen many refusals of people who applied by themselves or through someone else. So we have seen many spouse visa refusals and extension refusals as well. So be really careful in this scenario. So as per rule, this is the requirement, but recommendation is to get both primary applicant and secondary applicant. Primary applicant means person who is having a work permit, whether through LMIA or through PG work permit. So the primary applicant should have tier 0, 1, 2, 3 level job, and secondary applicant should also try to get a full-time tier 0, 1, 2, 3 level of job. But on paper, if you have tier 4 and 5 as well, still go ahead and submit the application. We'll see it later on how to just make it possible for you to get your spouse upon work permit in this scenario. We can submit an updated offer letter later on as well to IRCC. That can be done through web form, but submit the application as soon as possible before January 21. Just remember the date. We just have 5 days. That's why I'm making this video, this live session, so that you get to know related to this update. So there is an urgency in next 4-5 days. We are submitting all pending PG work permit applications, PG work permit plus spouse upon work permit extension applications. PG work permit plus spouse open work permit outside Canada applications as well. So wherever spouse open work permit application is involved, whether it is from outside Canada or inside Canada, or the extension application, wherever the spouse visa application is involved, we are submitting the file before January 21, 2025, so that we can take the advantage of the current rule which is there, where we can submit any kind of full-time job and we can still get spouse open work permit approval. So this is as per the current rule. What is the upcoming rule? Upcoming rule is you will require a tier 01 full-time job. It can be any job, any tier 0 job, tier 1 job. This is for the primary applicant. So primary applicant will require tier 0 level or tier 1 level of job. That is the highest management level of job. Sales manager or different kind of managers are on that level. Salary is also really good. So you can get tier 0 to tier 1. So that will be the requirement starting from January 21. Or if you don't have tier 0 or 1, if you are on tier 2 or 3 full-time job, in that case it should be in labor shortage sector. And what are these sectors? Natural and applied sciences. I haven't seen anyone working in this type of profiles. Construction is there. Many people work in construction. Healthcare is there. Yes, many people work in healthcare. Natural resources. I haven't seen people working in natural resources. Education is one sector where I see people working in education. So construction is one relatively known sector for me. Education is there, but rest of the healthcare is there. But rest of the sectors, I haven't seen people working in these sectors in Canada. So you will not find much scope of work which will be eligible for spouse upon work permit extension. So if you are going to work on tier 2 or 3, then you require to get a job in these fields. And there is a detailed list of these fields. It is not available yet. It is going to be announced on January 21. So after that, we are going to see whether you fall under tier 2 or 3, and in these jobs on tier 2 or 3, then only you will be able to apply for spouse upon work permit based on your work permit. So if you are working in Canada right now and you need to apply for your PG work permit, if you are going to apply for LMIA and based on your work permit, you want to apply for spouse upon work permit or spouse upon work permit extension in future, then you require to meet these criteria of job. So the mostly people will require to get a tier 0 job or tier 1 job, highest level of job, to get spouse upon work permit or spouse upon work permit extension. Otherwise you will not get it. One more issue is there. 16 months of work permit should be pending with you. So if you are applying for 1 year of PG work permit, 1 year of PGWP, because you completed 1 year of study and you are married, with 1 year of PG work permit, you will not be able to apply for SOWP or SOWP extension. It's gone for you. Or if you are getting LMIA of 1 year, in that case as well, this will not be allowed, because you require a minimum of 16 months of work permit to apply for spouse upon work permit or spouse upon work permit extension. So that will become one more constraint. So you require 3 years of PG work permit or 2 years of LMIA closed work permit, then only you will be eligible to get spouse upon work permit or spouse upon work permit extension from here onwards. There can be one more thing which you need to take care. If you are taking an LMIA, if you are taking a PG work permit, in that case you are getting open work permit. In PG work permit right now you may not be having tier 0, 1, 2, 3 level of job in these sectors, but you can get it in future and then you can apply for the extension of spouse. So you can change your job, improve your job, you can do it, and your current employer can also give you a higher level of job. It is possible. But if you are taking LMIA, then in that case be really careful while taking the LMIA, selecting the LMIA. If your LMIA is not going to be in these fields or on tier 0 or 1 level, if your LMIA is on tier 4, 5, or it is on tier 2 or 3 but not in these sectors, in that case, even after having a work permit of 2 years, you will not be able to apply for spouse upon work permit. And you cannot change the field of work in LMIA because you stuck with the same employer, same kind of job, you cannot change it. So at least in PG work permit, you have the option to change your job, go to some other company, and you can reach and meet these requirements. But in LMIA, you will not be able to change it, you will not be able to do anything. So in that scenario, just carefully choose the job title in the LMIA. So if your title is not going to fall under tier 0, 1, 2, 3, it is tier 4 or 5, you will not be eligible to apply for spouse upon work permit. And so two requirements are there in LMIA. One, it should be of 2 years at least. It should not be 1 year. If you are getting 1 year of LMIA, in that case, you will get 1 year of work permit and it will not be eligible for spouse upon work permit. So one thing is length of LMIA. Second is related to the job title which you are getting. It should be on tier 0, 1, and if it is on tier 2 and 3, then it should be in labor shortage sector. If it is not in labor shortage sector, then it's of no use for spouse upon work permit. Okay, so this is the scenario. That's why you should apply for spouse upon work permit and spouse upon work permit extension in next 4, 5, 6 days. So it is highly recommended for you. If you are not going to do so, in that case, primary applicants requirement to get the job will be increased. It is not easy to get it in current scenario. Most people, I have applied for, I guess, more than 200 PG work permit and SOWP extensions. So in last 2 months only. After the submission of these many applications, I am able to understand that wherever I am seeing the tier level, it is usually tier 2, tier 3, tier 2 or 3, in many cases tier 4 as well. So, and in some cases people don't even have a job. And we submitted the application and we are going to update the job whenever they are going to get it. After the application, we will submit it through web form. So this is the scenario right now. So be really careful. Always in this current scenario, take the benefit of current level of job, which is either any full-time job, tier 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even if you don't have a job, submit your application for PG work permit and SOWP extension. Submit the application right away without wasting the time. We can apply for you. We are already doing applications and we have noted down all the names for whom we need to submit application in next few days. So we are doing it really quickly. So we can help you in submission of application, and we are doing it carefully with SOP and all the documentation, and we know all the requirement. That's how I am making video for you. So take advantage of the current scenario where any kind of job can be used for the primary applicant to get spouse upon work permit extension, and later on, if it is not there, still you can update it later on, but submit your application as soon as possible. It is recommended. Later on, after January 21, it can become a problem for you because meeting these criteria will be really painful. It will not be easy. Job for the spouse, full-time job is recommended, even though as per rule you don't require it, but I will recommend you should have a job on tier 0, 1, 2, 3, because we have seen refusals if spouses were not working or if spouses were working on tier 4 or 5. So recommend, even though it is not mandatory, but it's recommended that you should do a full-time job in Canada if you are applying for extension. Even if you are outside, show yourself working, show the potential of work in Canada as well. So even though it is not mandatory, try to show a full-time job for yourself so that there is no problem in SOWP from outside Canada or SOWP extension from inside Canada. How to check your tier level? So you can simply this is the website. I will share the link in the description as well, or I have shared it in many videos. Yesterday also I shared it in the video. You can go there and find the link, or you can just search how to check tier level of the job in Canada. You will find this website, this link. So here, if you are going to mention the job title, then you are going to see that it is going to show you all kind of tier levels related to this kind of job title. You can try different kind of job titles to understand what is the tier level of a particular job. That's how you can check it. You can click on search. After clicking on search, it will show you all the entries for person support worker. For example, here person support worker comes on, I guess, tier 1 level. So you can also check it for yourself as well, and you can use proper tier category at the time of your application. It clarifies to visa officer that you are working on so and so level, and visa officer doesn't require to search for the tier level of your job. So this is the website. You can click on this link. I will try to share it in the description. You may not be able to check it this way, or you can take a screenshot and try to type it this way if you want to, but this is the website. I'll try to share the link in the description for this. scenario. So there can be different type of scenarios based on the questions people ask me in the comments. I have made these scenarios, and I'll try to explain these scenarios to you. So one scenario is study permit extended. So your study permit is extended, but spouse open work permit extension is pending. So I have already cleared it in my first slide. Apply anytime, as new rules do not apply on SOWP extension based on the study permit extension. So if your study permit is extended, you are already on study, you are doing any kind of study, whether it is a master degree or it is a PhD or it is a UG diploma or it is a PG diploma, any kind of study. After any kind of study, you can apply for spouse open work permit extension. There is no problem in that, and extension is not a problem. If you are on study visa, if primary applicant is on study permit and spouse is already inside Canada. So I have already cleared it. So no need to worry about extension. If the primary applicant is a student and is on study permit inside Canada, so extension is not a problem. You can extend it. It's not a question at all. Next is PG work permit plus SOWP extension. Apply for both applications together before January 21, 2025. So we have already discussed two scenarios. If you are going to apply, so first of all, many people think that we are going to apply for PG work permit first and there will be a separate application for SOWP and kids. Do not do that. Apply for everyone all together. Apply all the applications together. PG work permit plus SOWP extension. So apply both the applications together before January 21, 2025. If all the documents are ready, if just the job is not ready, in that case submit the application anyway, even if both of you don't have a job, and after that we can submit a web form as soon as you get a full-time job. For both of you we can submit separate web forms and IRCC will be notified for your jobs. It's not a problem. Many cases I have seen IRCC asking for the update from you, that share us the proofs related to your job from the primary applicant. So IRCC can also send ADR, additional document request, to you and ask for the job from you. But as soon as you get a full-time job, submit it to IRCC. It can be done after the submission of your application as well. But all the other documents should be ready with you. What are the mandatory documents? Mandatory documents are first is your course completion letter, then your transcripts, then you require IELTS, PT, TOEFL score, SOWP score, which is as per the if you are studying in university, CLB 7, if you are studying in college, CLB 5. So that kind of score is required. If you are meeting these basic requirements, in that case you can submit the application right now. Do not delay your application. Otherwise, if you are going to submit your PG work permit application after January 21, after this date, then for spouse open work permit extension, new rules will be applied and you will require to show tier 0-1 level of job, or on tier 2 or 3 you will require specific jobs which may not be available with most people. So getting a tier 0 or 1 for a PG work permit applicant is not not quite easy. Most people do not get it, so it will become a problem for you. Highly recommended to submit the application right now, right way, without wasting any time. You can ping me for your application, I can take care of it. Submit full-time job proofs later on if not available now. So I have already shared with you, you can submit the full-time job proofs later on after the submission of application as well. If you have a part-time job right now, submit it. If you have tier 5 job now, submit it. If you have tier 4, submit it. If you don't have any job, still submit the application. As soon as you get a full-time job which is on tier 0, 1, 2, 3 which is recommended, or tier 4 or 5, as soon as you get a full-time job, any update in the job, submit it to IRCC for husband and wife, for both primary applicant, secondary applicant, for both. So this is one scenario, PG work permit plus SOWP extension. Do it together. Do not separate these applications. I have seen many people following the immigration department of the university, and they don't care about SOWP and they don't care about SOWP extension, and they just take care of, okay, we are helping you for PG work permit, apply, and they have submitted the application and now they don't have any clue for SOWP extension how to get it, and their PG work permit application is already done and they are on implied status now. What to do in this scenario? So they are stuck. So there can be many such situations. It can happen with you. There is one solution for that. It is a kind of jugaad. but it can work. It worked for others, but it can yes, and it can work for you as well. Then SOWP extension based on PG work permit extension. So this is one scenario. You want to apply for SOWP extension based on PG work permit extension. Apply for SOWP extension before. Okay, so if the PG work permit extension is already approved, if you got the approval of it, then why you are waiting? If you are waiting to get a full-time job, do not wait for it. Submit the SOWP extension before January 21, 2025. Submit the application. Even if both of you don't have a job, submit the application right away. And there can be a second kind of scenario. If you don't do so, in that case, be ready to show full-time job as per the new policy, and it will be tier 01, which will be difficult for you to show. So submit SOWP extension as soon as possible. This is the message. If it is approved, do not wait to get a full-time job, and submit SOWP extension as soon as possible. So this is there. There can be one more scenario. PG work permit extension is not approved. It is under process. Let me rub it. Okay, we got the eraser. So there can be a second scenario as well. There can be a second scenario as well where PG work permit extension is in process. What to do in this scenario? Because it is already in process and you are on implied status of PG work permit. There is one jugaad for this. What you can do? So you are already PG. Okay, sorry, we made a mistake in this particular slide. So sorry for this. Okay, so PG work permit extension, when it happens, this is not a PG work permit application, sorry for this. This is PG work permit extension. Extension is not possible in normal scenario. It happens in two scenarios. One, your passport expired and that's why you got lesser amount of PG work permit. That is one scenario. Or by mistake, so you were allowed to get 3 years of PG work permit. By mistake, visa officer gave you 1 year of PG work permit. So it also happens. So in these two scenarios, you got less than the expected PG work permit. So in that scenario, what to do? So you are going to apply for PG work permit extension. If you are going to go for PG work permit extension, in that case, you should submit a online application, not the offline application. Otherwise, offline application can take 1 year of time to get your extension. So even though it is mentioned on the website, then you should submit offline application. Do not do that. Submit online application and you will get the approval far quicker, even if it is not mentioned on the website. But in practice, submit online application. So if you get the PG work permit extension, then in that case, if it is already approved, earlier you got it for 1 year, now you have 2 more years of PG work permit extension. Then in that case, there can be two scenarios possible. One, it is already approved, or second is it is you are ready to apply for it, or you want to apply for it in future. You still have your PG work permit left and you want to apply it in future. If it is already approved, then in that case, apply for SOWP extension immediately without any delay. And you can submit your SOWP extension as per the previous rule. Otherwise, you need to show a full-time job as per the new policy, which is tier level 01. So these type of job levels, tier 01 level, or in 2-3 specific jobs will be required to be shown for SOWP extension. So if it is already approved, submit your application as soon as possible. SOWP extension application as soon as possible. Even if you don't have a job, submit the application. Later on, you can submit the proof. In PG work permit extension, if it is already in process, but you applied for PG work permit extension alone, you didn't apply for SOWP extension, then what you should do? You have one jugaad for this. Jugaad is submit your PGWP extension 1. First application is already in process. What you can do, you can submit one more application. PGWP extension plus SOWP extension. So it will become your second application. So your one application is already in process. You submitted one more application of PG work permit extension. As soon as you get the result of this file, you can submit the approval letter through web form in the second file. It will be attached with your file and you will get the approval of SOWP extension in this scenario. So submit SOWP extension. If you forgot about it or you thought that once I get the approval of PG work permit extension, so I will submit SOWP extension that time. Now no need to wait. Submit one more application of PGWP extension and SOWP extension. Also, if you both of you are on valid status right now, in that case you can submit the withdrawal of this first application as well. If you are on valid status. If you are not on valid status means the previous work permit, if it is not valid right now, it is gone, it is expired, and you are on implied status, then keep both the applications. Keep this application in running as well and second application running as well. So you will have two PG work permit extension applications at the same time. Keep both the applications, there is no problem in that. As soon as you get the result of first application, submit it to the second application stating that, sir, to visa officer through web form that I submitted two applications for PG work permit extension and I got the approval of my first application. Please attach my approval with my second application and process the SOWP extension application which is attached with this second application. That's how you can make a jugaad and submit SOWP extension application even you didn't submit it along with this particular application. So you can do it right now as well. Do not waste time. Submit one more application now for PG work permit extension and SOWP extension all together, both together. Do not submit single application of SOWP extension. There is problem with this. The base of SOWP extension is PG work permit extension. If you don't have this application attached with this and SOWP extension application is processed independently as a separate application, in that case visa officer can process this application before the processing of this particular application, and this can be refused because there is no base. If this is processed later on and this is processed earlier, then there is no base logically for this particular application because your PG work permit extension application is not yet approved, and this will be refused unnecessarily and you can go out of status and there can be many problems as well. So what is recommended? Submit PGWP extension and SOWP extension application together so that now with this particular application we have the base of PG work permit extension. So anytime it will be processed, there will be an application which is attached with that is PG work permit extension. If this particular application has a different visa officer 1, if this PG work permit extension application, this is also PG work permit extension application and it goes to visa officer 2, and if this visa officer process this application first before even the processing of your first application, then in that case this entire application will get result together. And if your first application gets processed first and you get a positive result for that, then submit this result to this application and ask visa officer to process only the SOWP extension application. So this is one jugaad, you can do it right now without wasting time. If you don't want to apply with the new rule, if you want to apply with the old rule, then this is a jugaad you can do in the current scenario. One more scenario, waiting for study permit and SOWP extensions. So earlier, suppose you deferred your admission and you got your study permit till April 2025 and your study is also completing in April 2025. So that is a scenario. And you applied for the extension of study permit extension and SOWP extension. So there can be many scenarios in that. So one scenario could be your study was also completing in December 2024 and your permit was also till December 2024. In that particular scenario, you applied for the extension and you are still waiting for the result of you submitted your study permit extension and SOWP extension all together to apply for PG work permit and SOWP extension. So you haven't got the extension results for both the applications, SOWP and study permit extension. Right now you are on implied status of study permit and spouse open work permit. So you are on the implied status of that, both of you, submitted the application maybe in October, you are still waiting for the result, and you haven't submitted your PG work permit application and SOWP extension application. So this is one scenario where you are still waiting for the approval of previous permits, and you are on implied status right now. You don't have proper student status. That's why you are not submitting your PG work permit application. So in this particular scenario, apply now for both applications, but primary applicant cannot work. So earlier in my videos, I have suggested that until unless you get your study permit extension approval, do not submit your PG work permit file. Why so? As soon as you get your study permit extension approval, then you become a student in Canada. As soon as you become a student in Canada, submit your PG work permit application. When you submit your PG work permit application from a student status, then you can work full time. It's not a problem. So if you are going to get your result for 5 months, in 5 months, suppose you submit your application at the end of January or in beginning of February, and you get result for PG work permit in May 2025. So you will be allowed to work till May for the next 4-5 months after the submission of application. But in the current scenario, there will be problem. So we cannot follow that particular system which I shared with you earlier. So if you are waiting for study permit extension and not submitting your PG work permit application because you are on implied status right now, if you submit your PG work permit application from the implied status, in that case you cannot work. So you cannot work, that is true, but at least you will be able to get PG work permit and SOWP extension. Spouse can keep working in this scenario. So submit both the applications even if you are on implied status. So this is one thing you should do. Do it before January 21. So do it as soon as possible in next 4-5 days. Even on implied status, submit the application so that you become eligible to get spouse open work permit extension. Otherwise what will happen? You will fall under the new rule and your spouse may not get extension, or you may not be able to get spouse open work permit from outside Canada. So both will become a problem for you. So submit the application now, even if you are on implied status in Canada, even if you haven't got the study permit extension, submit your PG work permit application, and along with that SOWP application if the spouse is outside Canada, and SOWP extension application if the spouse is inside Canada in next 4-5 days. That is recommended. Spouse can keep student who is applying for PG work permit from the implied status cannot work. So that is not a scenario. It will be a loss for you, but at least you will be able to save the work permit for the spouse. It will be, if you don't get spouse open work permit extension or spouse open work permit, it will become a bigger loss for you. It will be a loss of 3 years for you. So recommended, it's recommended here the loss will be for 5 months for your work. You will not be able to work. You can visit your home country in this time, but this is how it is. We can't do anything in that. So here it will be a loss of 5 months for you where you will not be able to work. But here, if you will not get spouse open work permit or spouse open work permit extension, it will be a loss of 3 years for you. So be really careful. Submit the application now. In the current rule, spouse can keep on working. It's not a problem. Only student who is applying for PG work permit or PG work permit will not be able to work because PG work permit application is going from implied status. Comments check कर लेते हैं, कोई बात नहीं. Just hold on for your comments. Let me finish it first. Okay, next scenario is student applying for PG work permit and spouse is outside Canada. I have already explained it. Similar kind of situation. So student is applying for PG work permit and spouse is outside Canada. Submit your application before January 21, 2024. Even if you don't have a job, even if full-time job is not available right now, submit full-time job proof later on through WebForm. If the job is not available, funds are ready, submit the application, dekha jayega. Whatever is going to happen will happen. Don't worry. Submit the application in the current scenario. Even if you don't get a visa, just don't worry. Just take this chance. Submit the application now. That is recommended before January 21, 2025. Otherwise, after that, you will require to get a really high level of job to apply for the spouse open work permit. if the spouse is outside Canada. So that will become a really big trouble for you if you don't get it. If you are sure that you are going to get tier 0, tier 1 level of job or the priority job in tier 3 or 4, then in that case it's not a problem. Tier 2 or 3, sorry. One more scenario, study completing in April 2025. In that case, you will fall under the new rules. Nothing can be done in this scenario. So SOWP extension will be done based on the new rules. So definitely primary applicant will require tier 0, 1 or 2, 3 in priority sectors. So you should find, if that is a scenario, then you should find tier 0, 1, 2, 3 level jobs as a primary applicant for SOWP extension as per the new rule from January 21, 2025. So if your study is going to be completed in April, May, June, July, August, September, anytime from here onwards, whenever you are going to submit PG work permit application and along with that SOWP extension application or SOWP application. So if your study is completing that time, then you will definitely require the job as per the new rule. Nothing can be done in this scenario. Few people are there for whom job is just completed, their study is just completed in December, January, and they are just getting or already got the course completion letter. For them, they can use the current scenario till in next 4 or 5 days. Otherwise, for people who are going to complete study in future, helpless. We are helpless, nothing can be done. Yeah, so if you want to apply with me, you can ping me on my WhatsApp number. My personal number is 9912000082. You can call me as well, and I'll try to help you in your case. Okay, so yeah, this one is the mouse. My wife recently graduated, but haven't received letter of completion, but she has official transcripts. Can we apply without completion letter before? No, if you don't have a course completion letter, you should not submit your application because it is one of the mandatory documents, and if it is not there, it means your study is not completed. Go to the registrar, show to the registrar that this is the new rule and we have to apply under the current rule. Registrars can issue your course completion letter on priority. Yes, they can do it. We have seen it in Algoma. Many people earlier they were saying they are going to give course completion letter after 5th of January, but because many students pushed them and they started giving course completion letters from December 19th, and most people got it till before the holidays, till December 23rd, 24th, and then who were left out students, they got it in the first week of January. So you can go to registrar and you can ask the registrar to give it as soon as possible. Go there, email them, and you can get it in next. Even if you get it on the last day, all the other documents we can just arrange. We can make your documents ready. We can arrange everything. Just one document we need to upload separately. We will upload and load the file. Even if you get it on 20th of January, you're good to go. You have 5 days of time. Leave everything and just try to get your course completion letter, and so that we can submit the application for you. She completed PG diploma. Yeah, good to go. And if SOWP from outside Canada is involved or SOWP from inside Canada is involved, extension is involved, then definitely try to get it as soon as possible. If you are alone, then this is not for you. Don't need to worry about it. How does new changes affect dependent children when applying? There is no impact on dependent children. No need to worry about it. Dependent children always get approval. Even if there is refusal for SOWP extensions, we have seen children getting visas. So children are not in scrutiny. No need to worry about the children. Children will get their extensions. It's not a problem. I am a recent graduate awaiting my course completion letter to apply for PG work permit with plans to extend my SOWP, spouse SOWP and my child's permit simultaneously. Currently working part-time. So there are two questions in that. First question is that you are waiting for course completion letter. I have already answered. Go to registrar and get it anyhow. Sit in the office and say that give it to me now in next 3 days, 4 days, give it to me on Monday. We don't have much time. So do all of your efforts, leave your job, whatever you are doing, get your course completion letter in next 2-3 days if you are married. That is one thing. Second is, if you don't have a job, in that case you can submit the application. We can submit the application right now. As soon as you get a full-time job in future, we will submit it to IRCC through web form. That is what we can do. Currently working part-time in tier 4. So if you are working part-time, tier 4, 5, doesn't matter, part-time is part-time. It is not as per the requirement. What you need to do, what you should do, right now, whatever job is there, we will submit it to with your file. Later on, as soon as you get a full-time job, you convert it into full-time job, we will submit it to IRCC through web form. Try to upgrade your job to tier 3 to whatever highest possible for you. You can keep on upgrading, but first target is to get full-time job. Second is tier 5. Third is tier 4. Means this is the levels. So first is any full-time job. Second is tier level 5, tier level 4, tier level 3, 2, 1, 0. So it is, these are the better levels. So try to improve your levels in full-time job. This is for both husband and wife, for both primary applicant, secondary applicant, for both you should try to improve the levels. It is also a push for you as well to get better and better jobs. Also you can use it kind of as an excuse that to get the extension done, I require so and so job. You can push your employer to give you the letter. So employers are usually supportive. Desi nahi hote. So if you are having any Gora Canadian employer, so they can help you in this type of thing. Sometimes, yeah, Indian, Pakistani, South Asians also help in this type of things, but mostly they try to kind of give you more stress rather than helping. So whatever is possible for you, by hook, by crook, whatever is possible, just try to get a full-time job, maintain your status in Canada. That is the most important thing. Who has already applied for PR application and they effect for these changes? So PR application is separate. If you have applied for PR application, then you can get a bridging work permit. So if you get a bridging work permit, it is also an open work permit. If you have this open work permit and if both of you, no, primary applicant gets bridging work permit, based on that you need to apply for SOWP extension. Based on that, if you want to apply for SOWP extension, then also you need to have the job as per the new rule. So again, even during the process of PR, if PR hasn't happened, if PR has happened, then everything is over. But if PR is not done, in that case, again, you will fall under the similar kind of category. But your work permit will not be PG work permit, it will be bridging work permit. Based on that, the primary applicant will try to get SOWP extension for the spouse. So that's how it is going to happen. So here as well, the same rule is going to be applied after January 21. Those transitioning to permanent residence will be impacted over this. Yes, you will be impacted. I have already explained. Till the time you get your PR, you are still a temporary resident and you are on open work permit. If you are on work permit, the new rules are going to be implemented on you as well. Personal support worker on which tier? It is on tier 1, I guess. I can check it again. I checked it for someone today only, but let me. Sometimes you may not find the tier levels for particular jobs, then you need to check for different names of the similar names of the jobs, and as per the job duties you can define what is going to be the tier level. Personal support worker. So personal support worker. Okay, website is opening. Let me check the next question. Personal support worker is tier 4 and tier 5. If it is home support, then in that case tier 4. If it is nursing care, then it is tier 3. Tier 3 and 4 are for personal support worker. Everyone is running behind personal support worker. This is tier 3 and 4. Not really great. Thank you for the clarification. Can you please touch on what is the comment related to dependent children no longer being eligible on IRCC SOWP update. So these updates are not related to children, so no need to worry about children. They will keep getting their extensions the way they were getting earlier. But here, if we are working in Walmart as customer care manager, you can check, just I guess in the description the link is given. Oh my god, what did I do? Yeah, so in description the link is given, you can check it, please check it. Customer care manager. Okay, it's opening, let me check. I have applied for my passport renewal. Hopefully I will receive the new passport today. My permit is valid till July and my spouse too. I have to extend my passport for an additional 20 months. I will receive my new, if you are receiving your new passport today, then submit your application in next 2-3 days before January 21, so that both of you get the extension together. So PG work permit will be extended and SOWP will be extended all together. Submit both the applications together. If you need help, just call me. I will take care of your case. Customer manager. I didn't find customer care manager. What's that? We need to try different combinations for that. Nothing for customer care manager or customer manager, something of this sort. We need to try different customer service manager or something. Service manager. Okay, this you can try. Description link is given in description. You can try different combinations for that, and you can check what is the tier level of your job. What is the implications for spouse visa if two companies merge in the UK and an employee of the old company moves to the new company? No, there is no problem in that. Whatever update is there in your job, you can submit those updates to IRCC through web form. It's not a problem at all. Tier level should not change. If you are changing the company, it doesn't matter. In the current discussion, whatever we are discussing, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. If someone does not get the required job by January 21, can we submit both PG or PG? Yes, I have already discussed about it. Submit the application, and after the submission of application, as soon as you get the full-time job, submit it through web form to IRCC. We have done it for many people. Or should we only apply for PG? No, do not apply for PG work permit alone. Apply for PG work permit and SOWP extension all together. I made a separate video about that as well. Even before this update, I applied for that. I made a video related to that. Even in PG work permit video, where I explained each and everything about PG work permit. In that video as well, I explained you should apply for both the applications together. So apply together. That is the mantra I am giving you. After getting PG work permit and spouse, after getting PGWP, spouse can go on implied status. Is it possible? After getting PGWP, spouse can go on implied status. Is it? So Jagdeep, this is not really clear to me. Please call me to discuss it, because I require more details to understand this question in detail. First part is clear. I have already answered for that part. Can student work during student to PG work permit transition? Yes. So I have already explained. Watch my video, PG work permit and SOWP extension. So it explains it in detail. So what happens as soon as you complete your study? So let me explain it. So suppose you complete your study on 20 December. Study completed. As soon as you complete your study, it means your semester is over officially. Semester is over officially. Means it may be like you submitted your last assignment on 5th of December, but officially your semester is completing on 20th of December. Then you need to wait till 20th of December. till 20th December you can work part-time till here. So suppose you submitted your last class on 5th December. So between this period you can work part-time, but as soon as officially your semester is over, now here you get your course completion letter on, what is the date? For example, date is 8th of January. So in between this duration, when officially your semester ended and you got your course completion letter, you are still a full-time student in Canada and you can work full-time here. Then once you get your course completion letter, here you need to stop working. Till when? As soon as you submit your PGWP application, suppose you submit it on 8th January, then you can keep working all the time. So between course completion letter and PG work permit application, you cannot work here. But if you submit it on the same day, 8th of January, you got course completion letter, 8th of January, you submitted your application, then you can keep working all the time, full time. As soon as you submit your PG work permit application, from here onwards, until unless you get your PG work permit approval, APP approval, you can keep working full time and it will be counted as your experience as well. So it is counted as your experience for PNP or for express entry. So you cannot work. When you cannot work, between your course completion letter and PG work permit application, you cannot work. This is the rule. Okay, this is answered. Can student work? Okay, answered. Can your master's program affect the chances of spouse getting an open work permit? Can your SOWP be refused because of your spouse master's not being in critical sector? No. We have got spouse open work permit for many who were going for MBA at IBU. We have got it for MA leadership at Trinity. So it doesn't matter which masters you are doing, as long as you are eligible for you are doing an eligible masters of 2 years. Usually these are 2 years now as per the new rule. So as long as you are doing 2-year masters, you will be eligible to get spouse open work permit. It's not a problem. Don't worry about it. We are inside Canada and my wife is a student and now she is going to apply for PG work permit in March. Does this affect our work permit? We are inside Canada and my wife is a student. So yes, it is going to impact your SOWP extension definitely, because now as per the new rule, she will require to ultimately take tier 0-1 level of job or tier 2-3 in priority sectors as per the list. So yes, it is definitely going to impact. If the primary applicant is working in these jobs, in that case you will get the extension of SOWP. If primary applicant is not on these type of jobs, then the application is going to be refused. But it may happen that at the submission of PG work permit application, spouse may not have a full-time job on these levels, but you can submit them later on, the way we are doing right now in the current scenario. Many are there on they just have a part-time job. Later on they will get a full-time job. As soon as they get a full-time job, we will submit that full-time job to IRCC through web form. So here as well, as per the new rule as well, you may be having a tier 4 level job at the time of application, but later on, after the submission of PG work permit application and SOWP extension, you may get a tier 1 job. As soon as you get tier 1 level of job, we will submit this job to IRCC. So this can be done, it's not a problem. But it is going to impact your application for sure, because your application is dependent on the primary applicant. Primary applicant is first a student and then applies for PG work permit. So everything runs as per primary applicant only, not as per the spouse. I received second year PG diploma study permit extension. My wife received SOWP. So can she apply for SOWP extension during my second student permit extension? Does she need to apply before? No, she can apply anytime. New rules are not going to be applied to people who are on study permit already and spouse is already in Canada, and spouse needs to apply for study permit extension, spouse upon work permit extension based on the study permit extension. So this is as per the first PPT, as per the first slide. So we have explained here, if spouse is applying for spouse upon work permit extension based on the study of the primary applicant, then, and both are in Canada, of course, because student is in Canada, and primary spouse upon work permit secondary applicant is also in Canada, that's why we are applying for the extension. If that is a scenario, new rules are not applied on any applicant. So if student is also in Canada, spouse is already also in Canada, so student if doing any kind of program and extending the study permit, then spouse will also get the spouse upon work permit extension. No need to worry about it. Oh, so many questions left. But if the primary has tier 3 full-time job and spouse has tier 1, how will it affect the extension application? Should I do proper paper-based or online passport renewal case? Okay, so there are two scenarios here. In the current scenario, if you are submitting these applications, it doesn't matter. So even if primary is on tier 3, secondary is on tier 1, on higher level, it doesn't matter. So you can still get the extension, it is not a problem in the current scenario. After January 21, the scenario will change. Now the primary applicant will also require tier 0 or 1, or if you are on tier 2 or 3, then in the specified sectors. Otherwise, SOWP extension will not be approved. From the IRCC website, also have at least 16 months of remaining on their work permit at the time of their spouse applies for upon work permit. Dependent children of the foreign worker will no longer be eligible. Where it is mentioned that they will not be eligible. Did I miss something in this update? It should not be missed. Open work permit that were approved under the previous measures and have not expired will remain valid. Okay, if you already have a work permit, it will remain valid. It is not a problem. In situation where student may need more time to complete the program, and where family members receive a shorter work permit than the primary applicant, in Canada, members including spouse and dependent children can apply for renew their work permit. So okay, so renewal of spouse and children, both dependent, can happen. So extension is not a problem. So extension is not a concern here. So here as well, extension should not be a concern. Where this line is there? Did I miss something in this entire update? In addition to the foreign worker must also have at least 16 months remaining on their work permit at the time of their spouse applies for open work permit. Dependent children of foreign workers will no longer be eligible. Dependent children of foreign workers will no longer be eligible. Oh, I might have missed it. Okay, so it is in the context of job. So family open work permits will also be limited to spouses of foreign workers who are employed in tier 0, 1 occupations or tier 2 or 3 occupations in sectors with labor shortage and linked with government priorities. These priorities, the full list will be available on January 21, 2025. In addition, foreign workers must have at least 16 months remaining on their work permit, 16 months remaining on their work permit at that time when their spouse applies for open work permit. Dependent children or foreign workers will no longer be eligible. Dependent children of foreign workers will no longer be eligible. Okay, I might have missed this particular sentence. After, so this is for the as per the new policy. So as per the new policy, tier 0 is required, tier 1 is required, tier 2 or 3 in the priority sector is required, 16 months of remaining work permit is required. Extension is not a problem on study, but if you are on work permit, then it is going to become a problem. And dependent children of foreign workers will no longer be eligible. Dependent children of foreign workers will no longer be eligible. I am afraid means if it has the same meaning the way you are mentioning, yes, definitely in that case it can be means only spouse upon work permit can be allowed, but children will not be allowed. But this is horrible. So in that case it is almost saying no. After January 21, whosoever is going to apply for spouse upon work permit or for SOWP extension, then children will not be allowed, even if you are working on tier 0 or 1. And in that kind of scenario, if children will not get the extensions or the work permits, then in that, or sorry, their permits, relative work permits, visitor record or study permit, then spouse may not stay in Canada. So indirectly it's no. I have missed this big point in this entire update. I don't know, I'm not really sure, because usually it doesn't happen and it is not logical as well that spouse will be allowed to stay in Canada, but children will not be able to allow, even if the primary applicant is working on tier 0 or 1. I'm not sure. There may be some update, because it is really bizarre, it is really illogical. If the spouse is allowed, in that case children should also be allowed, and in most cases children get the SOWP extension even if spouse is not getting extension and spouse is getting refusal. So children get the extensions all the time, whether they are on visitor record or study permits. But this particular sentence I am not sure. It may be removed in future, it can be changed, it should be changed, which I am wishing. Otherwise, if children will require to leave the country, in that case spouse will also leave the country, one of the spouses will leave the country, one of the husband or wife, one of the parents will leave the country. So I'm not sure what is going to happen in this scenario. If this particular sentence is bit concerning, lot concerning, that if the spouse is allowed, then why dependents are not allowed. But usually dependents are never in radar of IRCC. I don't know why this sentence is written there. There may be some changes in future. We will keep following in next 4, 5, 6 days. Let's see if there is another update on this related to this particular sentence as well. But to the best of my belief, if spouse is allowed, children will also be allowed. I don't know the complete meaning of this particular sentence. It is dependent children of foreign workers. Dependent children of foreign workers will no longer be eligible. For what? Will no longer be eligible means, if we complete the sentence by ourselves, it is like will no longer be eligible for their extensions. It is like that, or their first permits. But usually it doesn't happen. I'm not sure how it is going to go. We should wait for this particular sentence. We should wait for the update because I cannot digest it in the current state to be really honest. what is thank you for highlighting this particular point. Thank you so much, whosoever mentioned this. Okay, where were we? From the IRCC website. Okay, thank you, Joy, for sharing this particular sentence. Yes, it is it is a bit alarming, and it is a bit concerning, a lot concerning, I should say. And hopefully there should be some update on this particular sentence related to kids as well. I don't know why IRCC doesn't have any page or anything related to kids. I have searched like almost all the pages available with IRCC, this Canada.ca websites. Nowhere there is mention of kids, anything related to kids, how to get kids visa, what kind of visas they can apply, anything. So most of the pages don't have information related to kids. Specifically, they have mentioned here for the kids. Let's see for the update what they are going to say in future. My wife is on applied status. It's implied status. So many people write it wrong. It is IMPLIED. It is implied status or extended status. My wife is on implied status, and can I apply for SOWP now or not? If your wife is on implied status of PG work permit, in that case you should submit one more application of PG work permit. There will be 2 applications of PG work permit, and along with the second application of PG work permit, submit your SOWP extension application. You should do it right now. Yes, I have explained it in the slide as well. So you should do it definitely, but do it as soon as possible. Now I explained it where, yeah. So if there is one more application, one earlier application in process, and it goes to visa officer 1, second application can go to visa officer 2, but submit PG work permit application along with SOWP extension application. So that's how you should submit your application. Ping me on WhatsApp, and let me handle your case from here onwards. My spouse is in healthcare. My spouse is healthcare administration. Can I be eligible for SOWP? Healthcare administration, I guess healthcare profile will come under tier 2 and tier 3 as well. It is also in labor shortage priority sector. So it should not be a problem for you. Don't worry about it. Okay, this is answered. How can I book an appointment with you? I tried the website, but it's not working. My website is working. I check it every day. Don't say this, dude. I work every day on the website to keep running it in the right way and to keep updating it. It should be working. You can just directly call me. My number is given in the screen as well, and you can call me directly. But don't say that website is not working. And these are the numbers. This is with Divya. This is with me. You can call me. This is with Uday. So you can call on any of the numbers. They'll connect you with me, or you can call me directly. If I miss the call, I will call you back. Don't worry. And sorry for that. I don't know. And please give me the screenshot where it was not working. I work on my website every day, almost every day. Can caregiver pilot program be open? Yes, it can. You can get updates very soon about it. Just a second. Hello. हाँ जी अंकल जी. हाँ जी सर. नहीं नहीं, जो कुछ है वो दे दो, बस वो सबमिट हो जाएगी. मैंने बोल दिया है टीम को. बस जो कुछ कोई मैं. Okay, my wife is on SOWP implied status. I have applied for my PGWP, which is also in process, I believe. I don't have tier 0, tier 1 job now. What should I do? So submit your PGWP application and SOWP extension again. So submit both the applications again, the way we have explained here. Submit 2 applications. One application is already in process. Submit one more application. So there will be 2 applications for you. One is your PG work permit application. Second is one more PG work permit application. There will be 2 applications for spouse as well. One is SOWP application, which was applied earlier, and now there will be one more SOWP extension application. As you get the result of PG work permit, submit it to second application. As you get the result of SOWP extension, submit it to second application. That's how you can safeguard yourself, by submitting one more application together now to IRCC. If PGWP and SOWP extension is pending decision at IRCC and SOWP validity is expired, can SOWP work spouse? Okay, I am considering, can spouse work full time during the implied status? Yes. If you applied your permit before the expiry of your previous work permit, then definitely you can work full time. There is no problem in that. My wife is on applied status. Okay, this is answered. When I am trying to lodge a new application, it is asking to restore the status. So either you may be out of status, or you might have selected the wrong option of do you want to restore your status. This may be a mistake you must have done in while creating your GC key. So ping me and we can take care of the case. I don't want to say it for everyone, but there are many people who try to become over smart and they submitted the application without submitting the job pros, without submitting SOP. They are on the verge of getting their refusals, and one refusal means people try to save how much money. So what are the charges for me? So charges are right now for PGWP $100 and SOWP extension, if both are working, then only $150. Kid $75. And if both are not working, especially primary applicant is not working full time, then for SOWP it is $250. To save this much of money, so if there are 2 applicants, in that case charges are $250. To save $250, people have got refusals, went out of status, and they are going to stay out of status until unless they get a new study permit or new spouse upon work permit after being out of status. How much money they have lost to save these $250? Unimaginable. So I have found many people. Today also I was talking to a few, and they again try to become over smart after knowing everything from me that you should do so and so and so thing in your previous application in terms of web form. They said, okay, we will do the application by ourselves, and we will do we have submitted the web form by ourselves. So when you try to become over smart and when you come back again to me, then I feel like, why should I help you? Why should I even talk to you for your application to discuss anything related to your application particularly? Why to help you, trusting you that you are going to proceed your case with me? Later on you become over smart and you become a consultant and you submit the application, and then you get refusal, then you come back. So when you come back after doing these kind of things, after getting all the knowledge, and when you come back and you say that now take care of my case, then we feel like, why should I do it? And on one hand, we are in a business where we need to do consultations, competitive market is there, we need to do consultation and these type of live sessions to help people and to answer everything without charging anything in terms of consultation charges. And the belief is that you will proceed with us. That is the belief we are having. But once you try to become over smart and you get all the information and then you do things on your own and then you get refusal, when you come back, we don't even think of applying for you, even if you are ready to pay. It's like an insult, and it's like feeling is like over smart ban rahe the, to theek hai, kar lo, fir apne aap hi kar lo jo karna hai. So don't do it with me. You can do it once, you can't do it twice. And once you start doing it, once you try to do it once, next time I get to know that I don't want to deal with you. Even if you are ready to pay anything, I am not going to deal. So many people are there. So don't try to become over smart after getting the entire knowledge, showing that we are going to proceed with you and we are in trouble, save us, help us, you're like this. And when you get to know everything, when the magic is over, when you get the magic trick, and then you are like, oh, we will do it by ourselves. Don't do it with me. It will work only once. My wife is on PG work permit. Okay, this is answered. When I am trying to lodge a new application, it is asking to restore the status. There must be some mistake you are doing. I can't tell you what kind of mistake, means I have already told you, but I can't tell you that particularly on this pain point you need to do things. I can handle your case if you are unable to handle by yourself. I called IRCC. They said that work permit extension application should be made offline. No. Threaten to reject the file if the application is submitted offline. Okay, so I submitted the application for Karan. He is my friend. I have made many videos with him. We submitted an application for him, which was offline application because it was mentioned on the website. After that, after 4 or 5 months, he didn't get the result. He didn't even get an update on the application. He didn't even know whether the application has reached to CPC Edmonton or not. We sent it to CPC Edmonton. So we didn't even know whether it has reached or not. After 9 months, he got the result. He called IRCC. IRCC told, who asked you to submit application offline? Until unless it is, we ask you to do it offline, you should not do it offline. You should submit online application. These are the words of IRCC. After that, that's why I specifically said, even though it is mentioned that you should submit application offline, ideally you should do it online as per IRCC. You got a different view of IRCC, so someone else now should call IRCC and ask what you should do. Or you can do 2 applications. It will be a loss of $255, of course, but you can at least be safe in that scenario. You can get your result early. He got the result after 9 months, I believe. So it was really a painful situation where he was not getting the result, and his company was asking for the extension and he was not getting the extension, and he was quite in stress that time. So submit 2 applications instead. Submit one offline, one online application. It will be a safer scenario. Or someone else can call and confirm it to us that okay, means to that particular third person, if he or she gets a different information, then we can get an update on that. But as per my personal first hand experience, I understood that we should submit an online application. Okay. The principal applicant did a 1-year course and applied for PG work permit in January 2025 and a tier 2 full-time job, and SOWP permit will expire in September 2025. Will this affect SOWP extension? So, okay, so you will not be eligible as per the new rules. You should submit one more PG work permit and SOWP extension application, because your wife, who is the primary applicant, will get only 1 year of PG work permit if you are going to apply SOWP extension based on that PG work permit, which is of 1 year, and that too after January 21st. So in that case, you will fall under new rules. As per the new rules, you require 16 month of work permit pending, which will not be there, and you will get a refusal. So you will not be eligible in that. So ideally you should submit PGWP and SOWP extension application right now, which will become a second application for the primary applicant. My wife has filled her PGWP on 13th January and I have SOWP visa till 15th April. She has tier 4 job, that too part-time. I came to India. Should I apply for extension while I am in India? First of all, extension can be applied from inside Canada. It cannot be from outside Canada. If you are outside Canada, you cannot extend any permit. Even if you submit an extension application and you leave Canada, you go out, your application will be refused, whether it is any application except PG work permit. So if it is LMIA based closed work permit extension, if it is PG work permit extension, if it is SOWP extension, study permit extension. Extension means application from inside Canada, and you need to stay inside Canada. Whenever you leave Canada, it is notified to IRCC, and whenever they get the notification that you have left Canada, now you are no longer eligible to get an extension and your application will be refused unnecessarily. So if you are outside Canada, what you need to do, you need to submit one PG work permit application, in next 4-5 days, and a normal SOWP application, normal SOWP extension application, not an extension, normal SOWP application, like a routine usual application, the way you did it first time, same way. So you should do PG work permit application plus SOWP application. You should do it right now in next 4-5 days, and after the submission of application, what was there, then you can ask the primary applicant to upgrade the job, and after upgrading the job, you need to submit it to IRCC, because primary applicant requires tier 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 level of full-time job in the current scenario as of the rule today. So later on, as soon as you get the full-time job, submit it to IRCC, report it to IRCC through web form. That is what you should do. Also, if you have a valid work permit which is valid till September 15th, you can come back to Canada. You can come back to Canada later on as well. And it's not a problem. So till 15th of April you can come back, it's not a problem, but your application will not be an extension application because you are not in Canada. Your application will be a normal SOWP application as you applied for the first time. Rest you can come back before 15th of April because your current permit is valid till 15th April, it's not a problem. If now I apply for SOWP with a tier 4 job offer and later submit another job offer with pay stub by raising web form, yes, I have said it I guess 100 times in this session, you can submit a web form with an updated job, it is not a problem. My wife joined MBA in September 2023 and she is going to apply for PG work permit in March, and we are already inside Canada. Am I getting work permit or does it affect? Yes, new rules are going to affect you definitely, because your SOWP extension will be submitted after January 21st. So definitely it is going to, you are going to be impacted. So what your wife requires to do, your wife requires to find a tier 0 or 1 level of job. If that is not there, submit the application together, both of you together, and then find a full-time job on tier 0 or 1, or if the job is on tier 4 or 5, tier 2 or 3, then it should be in priority sector. So list will be out after 6 days. So we can you can check the list and you can start preparing for a full-time job on those job profiles. I completed my studies MBA in September 2024 and applied for PG work permit, which I got yesterday. Great. Husband is in Canada on SOWP till September 2025. Now I want to extend and I don't have job. So what will be, yeah, okay. So do one thing, we have already explained in this entire session. Submit SOWP extension, and if you have kids, their extension as well in the current rule in next 5 days. So luckily you got it on time. So now submit the application in next 4-5 days before January 21st, before the new rules are going to be implemented. Before that, submit the SOWP extension, and even if you don't have a job, submit the application. And whenever you are going to get a full-time job, try to get really hard to get a full-time job. As soon as you get a full-time job on tier 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you get full-time job, try to get it on higher levels. As soon as you get a full-time job, submit it to IRCC. Whenever you get a upgrade in the full-time job, then again submit it to IRCC. We can handle your case, no need to worry. Just ping me on WhatsApp on my number. Where is my number? Yeah, ping me on WhatsApp or call me after this session, and I'll be happy to take care of your case. Just share it with me. I completed my studies MBA in September 2024. Okay, this is answer. We are currently on open work permit and valid till 27th Feb. 27th Feb. We are in January right now. Okay. I am going to apply for closed work permit and my spouse will apply for open work permit extension. Will he be eligible to apply? Yes, I have already shared this scenario as well. LMIA, 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 LMIA. Where is LMIA? I mentioned it somewhere, I guess. Okay, anyway, let me share it again. So if you are going for LMIA, you need to be careful about two things. One thing is your job title. It should be on tier job title. You can call it job profile, tier 0, 1, or it should be on tier 2, 3 in the labor shortage as per the new rule. That is one requirement. LMIA should be of 2 years rather than of 1 year. So you need to meet two criteria. One is the level of job. As a primary applicant, you are the primary applicant. I am calling you PA, primary applicant. So you require to meet two criteria. One, the level of job. Second, greater than 16 months of work permit. And problem with you is you are taking LMIA, so you cannot switch your job like this. That earlier I was on tier 3, now I am on tier 2, now I am on tier 1. You can't do it. So be really careful while choosing the job title, or I should call it job profile, because you will not be able to change anything. So take LMIA of 2 years and take the job profile on right tier levels or in the priority labor shortage market, labor shortage sector. If it is not there, then for the entire duration of your LMIA work permit, you will not be able to get SOWP for your family. So it will become a problem for you. Thank you so much for your answer. PSW course is eligible for this. Right now everything is eligible. In future we are going to get the list. Although tier 3 is eligible, which is in nursing, personal support worker with nursing. So if it is eligible, then it will fall under healthcare. So you require to be on tier 3, not on tier 4. If you are a home worker, then it will not be, you will not be eligible because it is tier 4. If you are nursing worker, in that case it will be eligible. So be really careful about personal support worker as well. You require tier 3, but it will come in under priority because healthcare is in shortage sector. So even if tier 3 level job is there, still you will become eligible, but tier 4 will not be eligible. Be careful. Status for spouse visa is implied in Bhavesh, I couldn't understand the question. Please make it clear. My wife is MBA student in Canada, 16 months course. Can she sponsor own dependent children after 20? So this recently in this chat only someone raised this question, and I am not sure about it because there is no clarity on that particular sentence that children will not be eligible. I believe, because it is really bizarre, I believe that children should stay eligible for SOWP for their extensions or to get their visa for the first time. But until unless there is clarity on that, I don't want to comment. So please wait to get this answer for a few days. I have part-time jobs in tier 3 and tier 4. Will it count as full-time? No. If you are doing 2 part-time jobs, combination of that is not a full-time job. You need to convert one of your jobs into full-time. So ask your employer to give you 30 hours. 30 hours is full-time job. Welder or machinist are eligible for spouse. As of today, they are eligible. After some time, I don't know. Let me check. The job level you said is, what is the job level? Welder. Welder. It's coming. I'll check and share. I have registered for IELTS exam on 24 January. No, you will not be eligible. Your application will be applied under new rules. You don't even have IELTS. That is a basic requirement. So welder is tier 2. It is tier 5 and 4 and 5 as well. There are many job titles related to that. Just check which job title you are having. Welder supervisor is tier 2. So as of today, all the jobs are eligible. In future, I am not sure. After getting the list on January 21st, then we will get to know about the new rules, whether welder is eligible or not. Welding related jobs are eligible or not. So wait for a few days to get the update. Today, welding or any kind of full-time job is eligible. I registered for exam on 24th Jan and my study permit and my wife SOWP expire on January 31. Okay, what's that? Yeah. Okay. I have finished 2-year master's program. Can I submit PGWP extension? So it's quite risky. I'm not really sure. So till now I haven't done it for anyone. I feel that IELTS is a mandatory document. It may not be accepted. It may not be accepted and PG work permit can be refused. It's bit risky. Means if you want to take risk, you can do, but I don't know. Means after January 21st, different type of risk is there. It is for spouse upon work permit, but without IELTS, the risk is on PG work permit itself. So I am not sure. As per my recommendation, the answer is no. You should not do it because you are actually violating the entire condition. With that condition, I was just logically thinking, then we can submit the PG work permit application without course completion letter and without transcripts as well. And then we can submit these things later on to IRCC through web form. So we can submit all the documents, immigration form and all, and mandatory documents or IELTS or course completion letter or this course completion letter and transcript, all these type of things we can submit later on through web form. Can we do it? Really means I'm not really sure. Related to jobs I have done, because people get updates in the job. That is the update in my profile, and they get the offer letter later on, and the date on the offer letter is also a new date, which is later than the submission of the application. So it is quite clear I got it after the submission of application. So it is logically correct that I am giving update related to my application. But here you will be getting the result of your IELTS test on January 28th maybe, and you submitted your application on January 15th. Then it is not possible. It is not an update in the application. You don't even have that particular thing available right now, and it is not an update. You got it a fresh thing and attaching it to application. Some visa officer can accept it, and I don't have any data to suggest you whether they are going to accept or not. If you want to take that chance, it's up to you. I am not going to suggest it. From my side, it is no. So I have to file another spouse upon application. Even there is already one application. Yes, I have explained this to you. Please watch this live session again. You will find that section. SOW is valid till 15th April and tier 4 part-time job is eligible. No, till 15th April SOWP is there. That is good. That is not a problem. But tier 4 part-time job will not work. So you need to get a full-time job. If you don't have a full-time job right now, submit the application and then later on through web form submit the job. Last month I got the approval of PG work permit and I am currently working on tier 1 job. Great. My wife and son are in India. Never applied for their application. Should I apply for their visa before January? Yes, definitely. I have shared with you this particular scenario. Should do it as soon as possible. Study permit completing spouse outside Canada. Yeah, so this is the scenario. Student applying for PG work permit and spouse outside Canada. In your case, you have already got the PG work permit. That is great. And now you can apply for SOWP immediately. So without wasting any time, you should do it as soon as possible. If the funds are ready, in that case, there is high probability you can get visa as well. But you should take this chance as soon as possible without wasting any time. And if you don't have a full-time job, then also submit the application. Later on, submit the full-time job through web form. I have applied spouse visa in October 24. What is the status in this? Bhavesh, when you applied for your spouse visa, was it from inside Canada, outside Canada? Was it, what was your status in Canada that time? What was the status of spouse if the spouse was in Canada? Please call me to get the answer for that. There are confusions. I need to know more details about this thing. Okay, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. If you want to apply with me, please share your details on WhatsApp. I got many calls in the live session as well. I'll try to call back everyone now and try to solve all of your queries and try to connect you with the team. So if you want to apply with me, ping me on my, this is my personal number. You can call me on this number, or you can call to on this number as well. Divya, she will connect you with me. Thank you so much for watching this session till here, till the end, whosoever is there with me. So more than 25-27 people are there. Thank you so much for watching my videos, for your love, support, everything, and for watching this live session. I hope it was informative and I cleared so many doubts to you. If that is the case, in that case, please subscribe to the channel as well, like the videos, other videos as well, watch other videos as well. Thank you so much. To apply with me, save my number. Thank you.